Hi, it's me, KJ, the filmmaker slash artist, and welcome to KJH Family and Fun. Yeah, I know this is kind of rough and bad for all that matter, but this is clearly another worse, sad kind of news, because what happened was that my grandmother passed away, and it was kind of sad to hear, or something like that. So, probably what just happened was that when I was like walking from this house to my grandma or something like that. So pretty much my grandma was lying down in bed or something like that, doing okay, but she claimed that she was not doing okay or something like that because I just want to know how my grandma's doing and whenever she says that she's okay, she's obviously that obviously makes me feel happy or something like that, nothing to worry about. And then somewhere no, I end up leaving. I said, I'll see you next time. And that's what I said. I told her that I'll see you next time or something like that. And then next thing you know, as I walked back to my house, and then I started working on the computer, and then sometimes I would take a break because while I was taking a break, I was just watching something online or something like that. Yeah, the usual break that I usually have until I begin to hear my parents coming in, and then next thing you notice, my parents told me that my grandma suddenly passed away. She was sent to the ambulance. They tried to save her, and for some reason only, it was far too late. They probably didn't save her that much. All because part of it seems like she was passed out or something like that. So she was sent to the hospital, and doctor said that there's nothing they can do about it. So she just died passing away, and it was kind of sad for me to hear. And ever since then, I haven't been myself lately. So pretty much I haven't been using the computer for a while. I haven't been working on my desk or anything else, and I haven't been creating the next Kate and Julie show episode, or even KJH Family and Fun, or anywhere else in between. I wasn't doing anything. So pretty much I ended up feeling down and depressed about myself because of how my grandma passed away. But then again, I began to realize that I just had to keep moving forward no matter what happened. Most people would say that for all that matter, but maybe I can just get back on my desk and start working yet somehow. And with my grandma passing away, I thought that at first we were just going to move back to the old house since we're like at the verge of two houses right about now. But it turns out we're obviously not moving back or something like that. But there might be another reasons why I moved here, for all that matter.
KJH has went to her grandma's funeral, but it wasn't big, but it was small. At the funeral service, her parents were there, her younger sister was there, her uncle Steve came, her aunt Jenny and cousin Perkins came, her aunt-in-law and her two siblings came, and we have a Catholic priest came reading the scripture, and KJH reads one of her grandma's favorite poems. So here it is.
I'm going to be reading a poem, and it's called Somebody's Mother by Mary Dow Brine. Sorry, I have autism, so I mispronounce things wrong. And this poem was like one of my grandma's favorite, and I'm guessing it's probably one of my great grandmother's favorite too, I guess. And she would read that poem when my mom had her brain surgery at the hospital, so I'm gonna have to read this poem. Somebody's Mother by Mary Dow Brine. The woman was old and raggedy and gray, and bent with the chill of the winter's day. The street was wet with the recent snow, and the woman's feet were aged and slow. She stood at the cross, waiting long, alone, uncared for, aimed the throng of human being who passed her by, nor needed the glance of her angel's eyes. Down the street, with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out, came the boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past the woman so old and gray, hasted the children on their way, nor offered a helping hand to her. so meek, so timid, afraid to stir. Lest the carriage wheels of where the horse's feet should crowded her down in a slippery street. At last came the merry troops, the happiest laddies of all the group. He passed beside her and whispered low, "I'll help you cross if you wish to go." Her aged hands on his strong arms she placed in so without hurt or harm. He guided the trembling feet alone, proud that his own were firm and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow. And I hope some fellow will lead a hand to help my mother, you understand. If ever she's poor and old and gray, when her own dear boy is far away. And somebody's mother bowed low to her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, "God be kind to the noble boy, who is somebody's son and pride and joy."
Then later, we listened to Grandma's favorite music, which was a country music. One was on the road again while ending the ceremony. KJH remembers hearing Grandma singing the song while she was exercising on her bike thing. She was a little girl at that time. After the ceremony, KJH and the rest of the family eat out at P.F. Chang's. And KJH had Asian Caesar salad with salmon. And she did have a fortune cookie. And I'll let you figure out what the fortune means to you. As a matter of fact, KJH and her dad flies back to the old house for a doctor's appointment. She got her blood drawn, and it came perfectly normal except for one part where she has normal high cholesterol. This means that she has to go on a low cholesterol diet, meaning no eating red meat, and no restaurant food unless they serve something healthy. She felt like starting Lent earlier and eat at home all day, and also exercise every day since KJH hasn't been exercising. But in some part, she was exercising part of the day. Eventually, KJH will do better, not just by focusing on her diet, but by moving forward to her work on her art and film. She will give up making images and footage with AI all because people all over view it as a whole new kind of sin. As a matter of fact, KJH's grandma gave me on one of her birthday by buying me from the toy store and mailing me to her. This was the best thing that had ever happened. And for the move, KJH and her family has another reason for the move. Not just taking care of grandma, but by visiting families around, meaning her aunts, uncles, cousins, and more who live close to this area around here. And also to stay out of the bad winters, all because we got ice trees when we got back. And I'm going to let this videotape end right about now.